Alright, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ha Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and shout out to all the Akim pushing out this word in truth and sincerity. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about the technology around the RFID microchip, which is known as the mark of the beast in the book of Revelation. And to start off, I'm going to read this in Genesis 27 and 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Alright, so Esau was giving the blessing of the sword. Esau uses music and the media as a sword, and also the technology behind the RFID chip. Alright, so I'm going to read some of this information on the RFID chip. And so the article here was posted probably like around 2006. It's titled, U.S. Army Developing RFID System to Track Weapon Usage. Alright, so and then this date, the U.S. Army's Bennett Laboratories is developing a prototype of an RFID system designed to track the rounds fired by a ground vehicle's gun. The first vehicle to demonstrate the sensor system will be the M1 Abrams main battle tank. The sensor system will include microelectromechanical sensors, or MEMS, integrated with RFID tags to help the vehicle's operator track how many times the weapon has been fired. This allows the gunner to determine whether it can be depended on to function properly. This article, it talks about how the RFID tech is basically it's used as a means of a weapon. So I'm going to read these two paragraphs right here. The first phase of the deployment, which will measure applied force, will focus only on using the MEMS sensor to count the rounds fired. However, according to this Edomite right here, Patrick, whatever his last name is, President and Chief Operating Officer of the project's lead integrator and developer, Augusta System, the MEMS sensor will eventually be used to measure a fire round's physical effects on the gun's barrel as well, including the intensity and the applied force, heat, and vibration. Alright, so with this tech, the sword, being in question is the gun or a tank. It can be used extensively without its threat level going down. So they can constantly use it without it losing its viability. So I'm gonna just try to find some of the part. Okay, so right here, let's start on this paragraph. With the Augusta system, solution and operator can access the weapon firing count on a tablet PC inside the vehicle. The tablet includes an RFID reader, and its data can be downloaded by Army personnel to keep a record of the weapon's firing history. When a vehicle's operator prepares the weapon for firing, the reader automatically sends an RF signal, energizing the passive RFID tag, which transmits its unique RFID number and a count of each time the weapon has been fired. Several frequencies may be tested with this system. The air interface protocol has not yet been determined. This is being an old article. I'm pretty sure that's already happened. Alright, so the tablet PC will include integrated data storage, communications, and display technologies. The MEMS will incorporate an RFID tag and a low-power microprocessor with limited memory, which would continue to record rounds fired even if the rest of the system were to fail. So it's basically saying this is a super small computer that's able to work like under harsh conditions. Basically, the RFID microchip that they're going to eventually implant inside of your hand. Alright, so that's all in this this article. I'm just going to show a clip as a M1 tank. See, now as you can see, that's a lot of firepower that just came out of those tanks. Fast forwarding. So right here you can see this is where they store the rounds inside the tank. Now the M1 Abrams tank has 4 types of rounds, and you can see right here they're labeled a certain way. So like the person right here who loads the bullet, like he'll probably like this guy right here will tell him to load a heat round, which is a specific explosive round, and it's got a letter H on it. So he'll put that in there, and then the gunner down here, you can't see him. Like the RFID technology in the tank, it communicates with everything. So like the gunner will only see the numbers he needs to apply to the trajectory of the bullet, but everything else is all RFID tech. And so after constant use, that gun barrel it droops. So this is just a quick article on Quora. Does a tank gun bend under its weight? They got 10 answers because it's a very intricate question to ask. And this guy says yes, it does. A tank's gun or any other object fired at one end and sticking out horizontally is known as a cantilever beam, like so. And if you can see this picture, you basically get a gist of it, because a bullet's not a laser. It eventually droops. But then you have to also count, like through constant use, like the barrel starts to droop because of the heat and the pressure. And so the reason they use this RFID tech is to calculate the wear and tear. So even after constant use, the gunner can still shoot efficiently. Alright, so that's it about on that. This is an old TM manual, an Army Guide website. So on the tip of the gun, you have this little thing. This is an old school version, but they have a newer one. So on the tip of the barrel, this is what's called a muzzle reference system. And if you ask a tank commander, they'll pretty much say this. It's in the bold. Like, this is the answer to the question of what is a muzzle reference system. Is the muzzle reference system is an electronic device that is intended to measure the current value of a tank bend, the tank barrel bend, in order to take it into account when firing the gun, and therefore to improve the accuracy of firing, and not knowing about any of the technology behind it. Now I'm going to read these 2 FAQs on the website just to get a little bit more understanding on the RFID technology. So it says right here, what are micro electromechanical systems, MEMS? So MEMS, micro electromechanical systems, which are smaller than microscopic dust mites, have been used for several decades in everything from inkjets, printers, and accelerometers, whatever that is, that deploy airbags in cars. MEMS RFID tech contains micromechanical components that are expected to be rugged and easier to produce, and which could be attached directly to medical devices. Such a tag can withstand exposure to wide temperature ranges, gamma radiation, and see all this other stuff in the link I just read. And this FAQ is, what is energy harvesting? Most passive RFID tags simply reflect black waves from the reader. Energy harvesting is a technique in which the energy from the reader is gathered by the tag, stored briefly, and transmitted back to the reader. So it's like how the apostles posted that video of the guy who invented the RFID chip. Like they had to find a spot in the body where the body heat would transmit enough heat to this device so that it recharges its battery. So it's like you don't have to plug it into anything. Alright, so I'm going to read Isaiah 54 and 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. And Esau being that smith, he creates swords. Iron in its natural form isn't a sword, but it can be made into one. Now I'm going to briefly touch on like RFID tags and supplies. I'm not going to read this whole article. This was posted like in 2005. RFID Vision in the DoD supply chain. And I read like all this, and like the like the only paragraph that was edifying was just this one right here. So the desired end state for the DoD supply chain is a fully integrated, adaptive entity that uses state-of-the-art enabling technologies and advanced management information systems to automate routine functions and achieve accurate and timely in-transit, in-storage, and in-repair asset visibility, with the least amount of human intervention. RFID is a foundational technology on the path to achieve this vision. Ultimately, DoD will operate a single seamless responsiveness enterprise visibility network that will be accessible across the network backbone and usable by both people and systems throughout the supply chain. And this is an old article, so they didn't update, so you can't click this image. So it's basically just saying, like, they put an RFID tag on a box of MRE food, and they know it's going to get to the soldiers because of the RFID process and all the checkpoints. And so there's a company right here, is a GAL RFID, and in their website they have like this like inquiries. It says like managing equipment, inventory, personnel, controlling access. And I'm just going to read the managing personnel part. Security is always at the forefront when it comes to the military or government agencies. The ability to know where each soldier is at any time to identify the wounded in field hospitals, as well as knowing the location of each employee at each agency, is crucial to security. Assigning RFID badges to all personnel and visitors at each facility means their identities can be verified at their locations, pinpointed at all times to provide maximum visibility. Yeah, so as one thing, me being an Army veteran, like they give you this Army card, and like if any of the Akim have like those newer versions of like debit cards, they have that like little chip, and people were saying like, oh, that thing can track you, and then other people will say, no, it doesn't. There's no way that little metallic foil can track you. Well, it actually does, because it's I think it's made out of aluminum or lithium. So like I don't know the specifics of what it's made out of, but like that element, it shoots out a vibration. So yes, you can get tracked with that thing. And and this proving it right here, because it says right here, verified at their locations, pinpointed at all times. So you're saying, oh, wait a minute, so there's an RFID reader at my job or at my apartment complex. Like, you need to put the badge to the RFID reader so that it can work, and you have to put it real close to it. Well, see, if you're working with this company, you can actually buy this ultra thin RFID antenna, and like picture's really bad, but it's like a thing, because the things with this this specific antenna, you go down to the read range varies on antenna length, tag models, and environment. So like you can put a whole nuclear facility hooked up to an antenna, and it can track everybody in the world. And just a quick thing, farmers and distributors try a new way to track hay. This is in 2013. I'm just going to show the image, because this big thing right here is an RFID reader that's reading the RFID tags. So you don't have to, because like this is the human sent here. There's a small RFID tag within this hay bale, and this is the RFID reader, and that's pretty far from in a human standpoint. All right, well, so that's about it for this video. I'm just gonna make this video short and small, because like I'm gonna make another video that's more like showing it through media, like the technologies being like in use. All right, well, Shalom Akim. I hope this video was edifying.